What's up, y'all? GoofyRhexxi here, and hope everybody is doing well. And like we always like to do every single patch, we want to go through the best and the worst from the most recent patch. So obviously we got patch 6.1 yesterday, and there were definitely some things that I thought were good, but there are definitely some things that I thought were bad or concerning as well. So we're going to be going through a list today, talking about the pros and the cons from patch 6.1, and let's get into it right now, guys. The first thing for me that I'm always pretty excited about are usually the costumes, and this time around it definitely did not disappoint. The last patch, I really liked the Polaris costume. That's what I'm definitely looking forward to being able to get here. And this right here, Wong's costume, is also going to be what I'm looking forward to getting as well. I think a lot of us, when we first saw this picture of Wong, we were like, okay, we'll take it, it's all right. But what we really wanted was this Wong, right? Like the Sorcerer Supreme look, the sort of more kind of modernized look. That's kind of what we were all looking for. So happy to be able to get this look in the game. We'll see how they release it, but this is definitely a good one. The other one too also is the Mordo costume. I do like this one as well. This is obviously as well from the movie. So the Wong costume is from the new Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness movie. That's where that costume is from. And then this one is also the same as well, right? I personally did like this old look for Mordo. I was cool with that one, but definitely also do like this one as well. I'm looking forward to being able to grab this also. Now, Miss Marvel, you guys know how I feel about Miss Marvel, one of my favorite Marvel characters ever, but I'm not necessarily feeling this one. Like I'm probably still gonna sport it. This is supposed to be from her No Normal comic book series, and this one, so yeah, they were trying to go for this look, right? They were trying to go for this look with the S in the middle, and then the scarf, right? They were trying to go for that move, but I don't know. I just wasn't necessarily sure that I like how they pulled it off in the game. It kind of looks a little weirder to me. The shirt's not quite black. It's a little gray. I like the scarf touch though. Like I'm cool with that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little indifferent towards it. Maybe I'll warm up to it, but yeah, not one of my favorites, but I do understand that a lot of people do like it. Now, another one of the things I think is a positive from this patch are these save squads. Now, I overall would have liked them to have added more save squads to our just rosters in general, because a lot of us are kind of like, hey, we're gonna be over 40 teams now, where we can probably make 41 teams. So we're under the amount that we need by just having a 40 cap. I don't know why they can't just increase it to like 50 or 60, or just not have a cap on it at all, in my opinion. I don't know why there needs to be a cap on the amount of save squads that you can have. But the reason why I wanted to bring up the save squads is because they had these additions to save squads, right? So they have this tower mode save squad. Usually I'm using my regular roster tab to go to save the teams that I'm using for Avengers Tower. So I like that they now have this tower mode save squad. I hope that they have it coded correctly so that when you are into tower mode, that it's now cycling through, because previously before it was cycling through your Blitz team. So I believe that this is supposed to be the fix to this now, where you can throw your save squads here, and then you will be able to kind of cycle through your roster while you're in that tower mode. They also did add this Cosmic Crucible save squad as well, so I'm assuming that this could be useful for your Cosmic Crucible save squad teams. Some of those teams are probably going to be teams that you're already using already, but of course you can now have a separate tab for that. So I'm assuming that when you're in kind of making your battle selections, that maybe you'll also be able to cycle through some of your Cosmic Crucible teams as well. I'm sure that some players will most likely be saving their defensive teams and then also their offensive teams on this tab also. Another nice thing that I think, or a positive touch in my opinion, is the Wakandan rework. I think this is good, and the reason why I think it's a nice touch for a team that means a lot to players. Obviously, of course, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, I've seen many rosters where players have maxed out Black Panther. They're still using Shuri for Tech Doom raids. I think that this was actually a really nice touch. Now, they are a Cosmic Crucible team, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to be used anywhere else in the game. I think a lot of us believe that this team may actually be a good war offense team because of the unable to be dodged in Black Panther's ultimate, and then also Okoye's ultimate as well, that they're probably going to be a good team against Web Warriors. We know that based on what the devs have said, that they're supposed to be able to beat Infinity Watch in Cosmic Crucible. And then any team that they mentioned like early 2021 or any team before Infinity Watch, that this team should be able to beat as well. But I do think that they do have at least some of these characters I think do have some versatility. Some players have talked about Okoye because of just how strong she is, her basic ability, now being able to clear 2 positive effects, that she can assist now on every Wakandan turn without having to have the charge on her, so she can always get the assist mechanic. So she's essentially like, and forgive me, my blitz timer is going off, but Nebula, she's like the Nebula of this team, right? So they are, I think it's a nice touch. Shuri's health pool makes her very versatile now. I mean, my goodness, I logged in and I looked at her health pool. I'm like, do I need glasses? Is that 641k health? I'm definitely feeling this right now in the Tech Doom raids. She's definitely been a little bit more tankier. Maybe time now to actually take this Fortifier ISO off of her. We could probably throw the healer ISO back on her, especially for raid content as well. So nice touch with the Wakanda rework. Very excited about that. Excited about the versatility of Shuri and Killmonger, not to be slept on. I think his damage increase is going to make him a good character. This is definitely a team that I'm putting on my list right now to work on as well for this patch, and I know some of you guys are probably doing as well. I wanted to talk about this too here. So Phantom X is going to be the event campaign character for this upcoming patch, and I'd cycled through the characters that you will need for this event campaign. Will have the Debonair tag, and remember that these new event campaigns now are going to have this new higher difficulty mode. So I looked at some of these characters and I'm like, this is actually a pretty good lineup of a list, right? We have Sharon Carter, who's very good for your skill doom raids. There's Dagger, Phyla Vell, Doctor Strange Heartless, Star-Lord T'Challa, some of the older characters too, Mr. Sinister. Maybe Hela's not great for some earlier players, but I know that there's a lot of players who have already built up Hela. So the higher difficulty mode is more for end game content, end game players anyways. So having Hela, and a lot of us have Hela built up, will be good. Some of us have built up Shadowlane characters, right? So we'll be able to use them as well for this content. So I'm looking forward to that. At some point in time, I gotta rate these characters up to 7 stars, man. But spending so much gold on the Darkhold team really kind of got me hurting for gold right now, or at least trying to figure out how to spend my gold. But there's some good characters that are on this list that I think will be very valuable for players, and we'll make a list later on and talk about the best campaign characters, for that event, to kind of get the most synergy. We'll talk about that as we move forward. But being that this is this new difficulty with the event campaigns, I think that they selected some good characters here that will be useful in that game mode. Also wanted to talk about this too, Gambit. So this was quite a surprise, right? The unlock for Gambit, he's only a 15 shard unlock. So I was quite surprised by this, being that he's going to be such a dynamic character. I think that he's going to add a lot to the game. And I think, a lot of us are considering, hey, we're probably going to end up using him for our event. He's also has a Debonair tag. But a lot of us are probably going to end up using him for, like our mutant doom raids, right? So, and thinking about other ways in war where he's going to be able to be used and how strong this team is going to be, I think the 15 shard unlock is kind of a nice touch. The only thing though is, let's be realistic, like what is a 1-star character going to do for you? You at least probably want to try to get him to 4 stars for end game content. So there is some concern there in regards to how what events and how many shards you're going to be able to get for Gambit. Because if it's anything like Echo and Agatha and Madelyne, like Madelyne event right now, maybe won't feel as good, but it's a nice touch because earlier players will be able to unlock Gambit and then get a feel for Gambit. Kind of similar to like maybe Silver Surfer, where a lot of earlier players were able to unlock Silver Surfer through the Strike Pass, although the Strike Pass is not great, but a 45 shard unlock. So this is kind of similar to me in that sense, where I do think that some players will definitely benefit from this. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about, I'm probably forgetting some things here, but the last thing I wanted to talk about was Dormammu's text fix. So I'm glad that they were actually able to fix this, even though in fairness, this should have not really been a problem that should have persisted for as long as it did. But the description for Dormammu's special ability Dark Rain was missing so that he only applies stun for 1 turn. Although this may actually feel more like a nerf. It was working this way, but they clarified the text. I think a lot of us would probably hope that this was a 2-turn stun to make Dormammu a little bit more impactful, if you want to say it, say it that way. But those are the cons that I have, pros that I have so far. Let me know if there's any pros that I forgot. Now, all right, so switching over to cons, one of the big cons from yesterday for me is this multi-opening orb function, right? So they mentioned it here in their release notes. Store update: allow the multi-opening option for more select orbs, including the Blitz store. So when logging into the store here, one of the things that I first checked after seeing that was going into these purple orbs, right? I have a ton of them. I don't really have any really strong need to open a lot of them. I did open up some of the mystics because I was low on some purple arcane powder. Go figure, right? From the previous patch. But yeah, I checked this and I'm like, oh, now we have the ×10. So while I was like, okay, the ×10 is nice, I was still a little bit disappointed because I wanted the slider, right? Like, that's what I really wanted to be able to click on this orb and then slide and say I wanted to open up 50 of these orbs or 20 of these orbs, but that is not what we got. But also, this is really where the problem is, right? So for some of these core opening orbs that you can spend cores on, like for instance this orb right here, if you're looking to grab shards for Spider-Woman, you could also accidentally click on this button here and there was no confirmation, and then all of a sudden bye core. So that functionality I didn't like, and once again, one of the reasons why I'm just like, why did we not just go with the slider option? That would have been so much better. Now I think part of this is somewhat laziness, because they already have it coded in other stores where you can have the multi-orb opening option. So therefore they just decided to just code it so that it would be applicable to the other stores. I guess that's for me is my logic on probably why I decided to go in this direction. However, I just kind of feel like, this is bad. This is obviously players are going to click on this by accident, and that's going to be a huge problem. Now they didn't talk about this in the blog, in a message later on, and it's right here. So I copied and pasted this. So options to purchase multiple items were added. So they addressed this, I should say. Options to purchase multiple items were added to certain orbs, but some of them requiring power cores are missing a purchase confirmation prompt. These are expected to be disabled this week. So it's not yet. We haven't, at least I haven't seen it yet, right? Because it's still an active function in the game right now, which will mean that multi-purchase options for all orbs, which can be purchased with power cores, will also be temporary disabled. The team will make it a priority to restore this functionality soon, and we'll keep you updated. So be careful. I don't see that it's been disabled yet. I don't want to test to see whether or not it's been disabled, but obviously since it's still showing that it's there visually, I do believe that that's definitely going to be an issue. So be careful. Like I said, I'm going to preach this until I feel like I'm get tired of it, but just go with the sliders. The slider makes it easier. It eliminates the accidental function. You can pick and choose what you want. I would prefer them to go in that direction as opposed to what they decided to do just now. Another orb that was a problem for me was also the Blitz orb. So they mentioned that they were going to be adding Silver Samurai to the Blitz orb, but at the time they didn't mention that they're going to be removing Shang-Chi. Well, the reason why I didn't mention it is because they're not removing Shang-Chi. Now Silver Samurai and Shang-Chi are going to be sharing the 10% drop rate, which now makes each of them only able to drop at a 5% drop rate 10% of the time. So for me personally, I don't like it. I would have preferred if they had taken out Shang-Chi, put him into the regular Blitz store, and then left Silver Samurai here at the 10% drop, being able to be dropped at 10% of the time. I don't know. I just personally think that this sort of hurts players who are earlier in the game that could land shards for Shang-Chi, could use them in the early portion of the game to pretty much basically walk through a lot of content. It makes this a little bit more challenging, in my opinion. I don't like it. I think that the better thing to have done would obviously just taking him out of the orb, put him in the store. Yes, he would be sharing a 90% drop rate with the other characters, but it would still be better overall because you could probably get you're going to get a higher percentage of being able to land Shang-Chi shards there. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of this at all. And I wish that they would have not made this decision. And then, of course, the Armory 16 orbs were removed. They did fix that. They did also address this in this post as well here, that the Armory 16 orb was temporarily missing from the store, but since has been restored. So that was fine. Armory 60 orbs in general are not great. What they should have done is that they should have actually updated the Armory 60 orb to include a right pillar. That would have been a nice little update for this patch as well. But that's it. I digress from that. Wanted to talk about events. I think some of the event here, in my opinion, is a con. And the reason why it's a con, so I want to say this, right? I want to preface it by saying this. I think that in general, if you're just doing your regular dailies, you're going to get some good resources here. There's a lot of really good stuff that's here. I mean, especially like Arcane Powder. I mean, definitely I need that. Some stuff I've already claimed already. This mini unique, that mini unique. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I've claimed already that are really good. There's some other stuff that's good as well. There's some shards here. So just by playing and doing your regular activities throughout the day, you're going to get some good stuff. But if you are a completionist, if you are someone that's looking to be able to get the most out of an event, mainly shards for a character, that's tough, right? So for Madelyne Pryor, if you didn't buy the character like I did not buy Madelyne Pryor. I was looking to probably grind through this event and see how, and hopefully be able to get a 4-star character. Unfortunately, even if I grind through this event, the most I'm going to be able to get is a 3-star character, and I'll be 30 shards away from being able to get a 4-star character. So I guess 30 shards is not that bad, but there's a lot of activity needed in order for me to be able to do so. I forgot to pull up the infographic, but pretty much basically it's a lot of blitzing. It's 6 to 7 blitz rotations a day, or to be able to probably complete the event. And even then, it's still not guaranteed because there's other factors like battling in war with Darkhold or A-Force. There's blitzing with Marauder characters that are at G13 or higher, or G14, so you get higher points for doing stuff like that. For me, it's just one of those things again where it's a massively sort of long event that requires a lot of activities. Yes, I'm getting some good resources, but I would really like if they start to change these events to where you're guaranteed, if you grind enough, right, that you're at least going to be able to get a 4-star character. The way that they're setting this up right now is that you're grinding away just to be able to get a 3-star character. It doesn't feel good. It did this with Agatha. It did this with Echo. They need to start making these changes. They did it with Magic too. They need to start making these changes and make it a little bit more player friendly. In my opinion, this is not player friendly at all. We still don't even have a complete picture on Spider-Woman, right? Because we're only able to see the Madelyne Pryor milestone. We know that there's supposed to be other milestones that are going to contribute to you being able to get through the A-Force of Nature milestone, and then also getting your Spider-Woman shards. Also want to point out that you don't start getting any shards for Spider-Woman until you get to milestone 24, and in total there are 40 milestones in the game. So I don't know how well this is going to go over for someone how many shards a player who is free to play or earlier on, like in the game, maybe not super end game, but at least able to compete in some content. I don't know if you're going to even be able to get an unlock for Spider-Woman. We don't know yet, because ultimately there's not enough information for us to glean that, just to be able to glean that from what's being shared with us right now. Also, this was kind of a bad thing too, and I should have took a picture of this. They sent out, so we know that we need emblems, right, to be able to get through, to get points for the A-Force of Nature milestone. And there was this email that popped into the game, and I clicked on it. I claimed it. I thought I was getting 300 of the emblems. Turns out that based on, they actually mentioned this in their blog as well, that there is a visual only issue with an inbox message that shows times 300 A-Force emblems. This is intended to grant a random amount of 1 to 300 and is functioning correctly. Visually, it is not displaying that randomized number. I actually personally, I didn't get any. I got 0 from when I claimed it. I got 0 emblems. I didn't get any at all. So I didn't get and some players got like 200 plus. Some only got 100. It was not clear, and this was bad in my opinion. Why show it this way visually? This is something that they should have figured out. They've been probably planning this for a while now. Why was this not properly displayed so that players would not be misled? This definitely goes for me as a con as well. This event, the good resources, but the lack of shards makes it feel bad. The excessive amount of activity when it comes to blitzing. Essentially, it looks like we're probably going to be blitzing this entire month of May. Not good, not very good at all. You're not hearing what players are saying when they talk about screen time. You're clearly just not listening, right? But the next thing I wanted to talk about is Cosmic Crucible, and you may say, well, why, Goofy? Why is that a con? So for me, it's more about the Cosmic Crucible store. I think Cosmic Crucible is probably going to be a lot of fun. I think it has a potential to be honest with you. I really do. But the store for me is the implications of what the store means, right? It's the teal gear. It's the fact that we're probably not going to be getting a teal gear war orb, right? We're not going to be getting one because they're going to be shifting everything here to the Cosmic Crucible store. And the price of these stuff really concern me. We don't know exactly yet how we're going to be able to accumulate these Cosmic Crucible points in order to be able to use them in the store. That is also a concern too. Look at the prices of some of this stuff. So 10 for $14.50. If you're looking at mini uniques, it's $29.25 for 3 pieces. This is a lot. This is quite a bit. So now we could get a good assortment of resources or a good assortment of points. What do they call these? Credits. Good amount of credits based on our play in Cosmic Crucible, but I don't know. It's hard to say. And when have they been that generous to us for anything really in reality, right? So how am I supposed to then be overly positive about it? So I don't know. It's the implications of the fact that they're probably not going to be introducing teal gear in any sort of which way, that they're not going to be increasing the amount that you get in the battle pass, that they're not going to be giving you a teal gear war orb, that they're not going to be adding any sort of pillar to the Armory 16 orb. We don't know. We haven't gotten any indication of that yet. How are we supposed to feel? Am I supposed to feel great about the Cosmic Crucible store? And then also the potential chance that they may add a character to the store later on. That is a concern too, guys. It is definitely a concern. I hope they don't do so, but being that they don't make characters fountainable or farmable enough, there's not enough campaign nodes that are there. Seems like the stores are becoming a little bit more limited. Who's to say that they probably won't add characters to the store as well? But like I said, I want to say Cosmic Crucible could be fun. It is going to be a PvP game mode, so there is some concerns that it may be toxic, especially when there's resources and credits, or there's credits and resources tied to this. Matchmaking could be bad. Teams that you have to build up for Cosmic Crucible as well. Bleeding of resources to be able to do so. It could be fun, but at the same time, if you're not feeling the rewards from it, how great is it going to feel? Hope it's not RTA all over again, right? But the next thing I wanted to talk about really is just this patch, right? In regards to the characters for this patch. And once again, we have another double-digit character patch. We have 5 new characters, right? 3 new for the Unlimited X-Men team. We have 2 characters for A-Force. We have 2 characters that are getting reworked that are going to be a part of the A-Force team. And then we also have 5 characters that overall got reworked on the Wakandan team. So here we are again with another patch where we have double-digit characters, because I can't just talk about the new characters, it's also the rework characters as well. And I guarantee you, like some of you guys are probably like me, only invested into Shuri, doing fine in endgame content, but now probably gonna have to invest into the Wakandans because they are gonna be a good Cosmic Crucible team. You're gonna have to invest into X-Men Unlimited because they are gonna be a Cosmic Crucible team, right? So now you're bleeding away at these resources. The events are given some good resources, which are helpful. But when I look at this event, it's a lot of the gear that you're getting. It's Mystic gear, which we do need because we just bleeded out a lot of our Mystic gear from the Darkhold team. But a lot of players also expended a lot of their mutant gear because of the Marauders team rework, and then you're introducing a new mutant team as well. So the resources aren't infinite, they're finite, and we need other ways to be able to get some of these resources here, and there just seems to not be enough that's going around. The teal gear definitely is a concern because more players are going to start to probably finish Dark Dimension 5, which means that some of these teams that you're going to be using in Cosmic Crucible will also need to have that gear tier 16 as well. What about matchmaking? If matchmaking is wrong, I don't know, it's just, or is wonky, right? I'm just concerned about these constant double-digit character patches that have so many characters in them where you just are not able to really kind of sort of keep up. Although keeping up in Marvel Strike Force is probably not really a thing anymore because they're trying to make sure that you just don't. or unless you spend money. It's just a concern for me and a con for me that we have another double-digit character patch, in my opinion. But those are my thoughts, guys. Where are you guys with this whole thing? I mean, are you feeling like, what do you think about my cons? What do you think about my pros? I'm pretty I feel a little bit, we ended on a negative note, so I feel a little bit more negative now, and I do think positively, but I think that there's some good things that are here, some things that definitely could be fun, but definitely also some concerns as well as we continue to move throughout this patch. Later on, maybe this week or next week, we'll talk about patch priorities. We'll also talk about some other things as well in regards to this current patch, and builds and Spider-Woman and the rest of the team as well, guys. But appreciate you watching the video. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Leave it in the comments when I hear from you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already to the channel. Check out the links that are down below in the description as well. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, guys, so that you know when my videos do go live on this channel as well. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Listen, appreciate you guys so very much. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.